Advanced filmmaking came about in a way where I discovered when I was giving master classes and seminars and go to the big film schools, USC, AFI, and talking to the film students specifically about the movie I had just screened. I realized how much interest there is really for not so specifically technical things, which you can learn in a film school, like elementary filmmaking, the way Yuri and Vilmos are teaching it in all the traditional film schools. I'm really not interested in teaching that because I think that's stuff you can learn. I'm trying to convey information that is not available to a normal film student because no teacher really can share that information, which is just what do I do when I'm done with film school? How do I enter this machine that is the Hollywood or the world industry of cinema? How do I maneuver? What are smart ways to meet people, connect? Do I buy equipment? Do I not buy equipment? How do I get in the union? How do I find a director? How do I find material? And all those things which are really more advice based, and because I am friends with old time friends, and we all started together with Wally Pfister, Janusz Kaminski. We all worked together at Roger Corman when I was very young, and we all had very different paths, but we all succeeded in the industry. Mauro Fiore also. They all have Academy Awards, but we have very different paths. A lot of us are immigrants. We had very different struggles. Some found a way very quickly. Others took many years. Wally shot many, like 20, 30 low-budget movies that nobody ever saw, and one of them was Memento. He was my operator for 10 years, and I actually had a very different path, breaking into studio films early, but they took me a certain direction, and then I transitioned back into more artistic films later. Janusz, of course, getting that break with Steven very early on, so I want them to understand, first of all, that there's no one rule or one advice you can give somebody. There's many different ways to, and they have to understand that you can't just follow a pattern and succeed, that you have to be passionate and patient, and then we just try to give them advice and also talk to many other people. So it's not necessarily just for cinematographers, it's also for directors. I interview directors. I've interviewed Wim Wenders, Alexander Payne. Today I interviewed Vilmos, how he started, what all the things he had to do and go through before Altman called him, and later his collaboration with Spielberg, because people always think like, oh, you guys made it in Hollywood, like how do I do that? And I go, that's not a one question answer. It's a 30-year process. In my case, I moved to America 30 years ago, and so it's very complex and also very diverse, and everyone has a different story, and this is something I discovered because after these seminars in the big film schools, when I go outside and try to leave, is when everyone comes and they ask all these different kind of questions and things that I don't even realize that they are important to them. Like, obviously, how do I can I get an internship with you, or how do you balance like traveling and having a family? Like we never thought about that, or at least I didn't when I was young and starting. I mean, I was just like, I'll go anywhere, I'll shoot anything. I didn't really have, because I never went to film school and I never really had time to prepare for my career. Like things just came and happened, and I was just reacting, and things always seem to come at the right stage. I think everyone gets an opportunity and gets lucky, but you have to be kind of ready for when that luck comes. Those opportunities can come at the wrong moment or too earlier. But realizing all this kind of anxieties and fears that they have, I thought it'd be nice, to share this knowledge, and we make it very accessible, and it's stuff you would really only find out if you happen to be invited over for dinner and I'm cooking, and Janusz and Wally are there, and Vilmos are there, and we're just talking about stuff, talking about our lives. And if you're lucky enough to be able to listen to that, I think that's valuable stuff. You know, you can take nothing out of it, or maybe a lot. You know.